Oh hey, this is Van Forza Gaming, and this pack is the smoking car tyre pack. And this car is absolutely amazing, and we're going to review the other 5 cars, starting with this track that I kind of made. It's kind of like a circle that we can kind of drift on and everything, just to see it kind of perform. And I've tested this car before, and this car is absolutely awesome. There's no other word for it. This car is awesome, so I think this car will be the main car for the pack, because if you have a look at it, the modifications I've put on is an engine that has 1027 brake horsepower. That's crazy. I put racing tyres and I've made them really big, and I put 6-spoke tyres to make them really light and everything. They're just not ordinary ones, they're N keys. But all the other cars in the pack don't really need to get modified, because they're kind of different in a good way, but one is different in a bad way. You'll get to see this in a later video. And let's review the Aston Martin Vulcan. I think I've got really good hopes for this car. And even though it was from the older Top Gear, it was still amazing. So, good job, Aston Martin. At least you've made a decent car for once. I'm happy. But I do like the Aston Martin DB11. That's quite amazing. And do you want to hear this? This car, I think, is the best track toy in the game, because it has a V12 that is awesome. It's named after a really awesome plane from the Cold War era, the Vulcan. And I've actually seen that plane in real life at Chumley Pageant Power, and that gave me goosebumps. And also, this car gives me goosebumps as well, but not as good as the Ford Crown Victoria, which I'll say in the end of the video. But you probably heard I've said mostly kind stuff about it, because it is an awesome car, and I've got no hate for that car. It's just awesome. And you can say what you want in the comments down below. I'll give my opinion, and you can give yours. And now, we are going to test the BMW M2, the return of the M cars, and what they should be like. And just to let you know, this car was actually featured on my list in the previous few months, where I was talking about the Forza Horizon 3 car wish lists, and it seems to be came out coincidentally. I don't know how, but I think it was 2 other cars that were there that I thought was quite a coincidence. And this car is very civilized compared to the other cars, but this car is a great driver's car. And this first video game debut was Need for Speed 2015, and that was an awesome video game for most people, but I had a really big problem with it. And first, it may seem really unordinary, but basically the screen was quite annoying, because it kept on a black screen and I could not change the settings at all, and it was just plain annoying. But this is my 3rd car for the video, or shall I say 4th in fact. And this car has quite a big wing, and the car sounds awesome. I had to say that, to be honest. But this car is actually slightly ugly at the front, but at the back, looks good looking. I'm proud of that. If I actually had to and the rear of that car, I would be proud. But with the other four didn't look very bold, or the other three compared to this. But I'll give you the review for that at the end. And let's get with another car. I think we're gonna go with the Jeep. No. I really don't like this Jeep, unfortunately. But I don't really like the Renegades, and I don't like Jeeps. Neither Jeep Renegade. I don't like the new one, or the old one. But this looks really similar to the one in Jurassic Park. But that one was at least 90 years older or something. I haven't actually counted the years, but that's my approximate guess. And this car is quite interesting. Not in a good way, unless you're going off-road, which I can. And the story was, it was actually designed for the Australian outback, so it can climb off roads and everything. So that's good for it. But it's quite boring to drive, and I'm getting quite tired of it. So we'll get you on to another car that is slightly worse. Unfortunately, it is a Lotus. And I like Lotuses, but this one is just flat out silly. And not in a good way. It's silly, weird, and strange. And I'm glad if they actually did make this car, which I highly doubt they didn't. But if they did, they'll probably have to make it in very short supplies of it. It just looks absolutely crazy annoying. And the theory behind this car was it was supposed to amplify Colin Chapman's theory of lightness is the best. But I think this just looks, no offense, it just looks ugly. And the car isn't very pleasant to drive. So that's my hate talk on it. And I bet you have hate talk on this car. But whatever you think in the comments down below, I will read the comments. Then I'll talk about it at the end of the video. And this car, I'm excited to drive this. This car, it sounds amazing. It's crazy cool. And it's quite fun to drive. And at the beginning of the first production prototype of this video, I thought this car doesn't drive very well. And I was wrong. After the second time I drove it, it drove okay. But now I'm loving it. So this car is a 10 out of 10. And starting with the Ford Victown, you know, the Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, that's a 10 out of 10. The Aston Martin Vulcan, I think 9 out of 10. BMW M2, I think 8 out of 10. And then for another car that was quite interesting, it kind of grows on me now. I think it's a GTA Spano. That's growing on me so much now. Not the looks, but the drive. It just made me feel super interested. I'll give that a 9 out of 10. But it wasn't the best to drive. But it was fun. A new Jeep. I think I'm going to have to give you a 6 out of 10. Because you weren't as bad as that really strange Lotus. I think that's a really ugly car. And whoever designed that They probably got fired or something. That's my opinion. And at least my other favourite car in the pack was a Pagani that I really liked, and that I think will have to be a 10 out of 10, a Rhyme 9 star, as well as a Ford Crown Victoria. That's quite amazing. So, bye from Ed Nitro Gaming. Please like and subscribe.